Alright, so this is my Unreal project again, and I have added a few things to the scene since last recording. So first off, I attempted to make a particle system, a little fire pit here, and the smoke is working well enough, but the flame is not exactly, my sprite sheet is very kind of imperfect, so the flame is definitely a little bouncy, but the concept is there. I'm just going to pull up the, where to put the particle sheet, or the particle stuff, so it's just around the screen here. I'm still finding this all a little bit confusing to get the hang of, but essentially I have two different emitters, one that does the smoke and one that does the flame. And the flame is using a material that has a sprite sheet and a timer and a bunch of different things set up on it. And the smoke is just a simple material with opacity on it, and then I've given it some different modifiers here, so it essentially does what it's supposed to do. But the flame, I think, is going to need a few more tweaks, which I will look into at a later point here. Trying to move my windows, but this over here under materials, there's the dust. I called it dust originally, but I made it into the smoke. So that's the smoke particle material, and there's the flame. I could pull this one up too, and essentially I have the flipbook piece here, which tells the sprite sheet to be used as a sprite sheet, essentially. This constant here tells it how many rows and how many columns, and then we have our time multipliers to adjust the speed and things, and then of course down here this gradient actually applies the color to the flame, and we have a couple of other nodes to tell it how much opacity to apply and different things like that. So the concept, I'm pretty much understanding it, but as you can see, the sprite sheet is not perfect, so the flame appears to kind of twitch and bounce. I think my entire UI is actually doing that, and I do not know why, but it is. So let's wait for that to load in here. Come on, do it. Load in. There it is. So essentially, you know, if you look at the top of the flame here, that kind of it wants to be a good smooth animation, but the frames do not. They're not centered correctly on the sheet, so that they're all kind of lined up with each other. Essentially, if it were a flipbook and everything wasn't drawn in the same position on the page, kind of thing. So I could go back and modify the sprite sheet to try and fix that, but for the sake of this, getting the idea of making the particles, I think I'll be okay with that for now. So the other thing I've added is a couple of camera rigs, and with their corresponding animations. So if I go to how do I go to that? Where's my cameras? I really need to organize my hierarchy, and that's one thing I am not doing well in. So here's the camera that zooms along the rail, which we have set up over here. Kind of just giving it a little lakeside shot of my little park here. So I did create an animation for that one. That one's camera 2. So over here we have my animation set up, and if I just let's just go down to here, close the sequencer out. Crap, I think I screwed this up now because it's gonna, yep it is. See, the way I have my recording set up, my recording window itself is kind of blocking the rest of it. So okay, so in this pane here, it will show the animation. We just kind of have it doing a nice little rotation along the beach. I kind of need to zoom it out a bit more so you actually see the water, but for the most part, you know, the idea is to animate the camera moving along the rail, and I think I did get the hang of that. I had to add the camera as a child to the rail game object, rail actor, and then add the track for the rail, position on the rail, and then the transforms as well for the camera. Rotations, all that kind of stuff, so it's good fun. And then of course here we have another camera angle, and in this case it is going, that camera is actually on the other side of the trees over here. It was on the other side of the trees. Where'd it go? Okay, I'll play this and hope I didn't break, because it should be on the other side of the trees here. Okay, what's going... Oh! It might help if I select that camera. Where did that one go? Okay, we're missing a camera apparently. Hello, camera? Where are you? I need to throw all these things in their own... Oh, camera actor? No. Oh, I have no idea what one that is. It's a nice view though. Okay, let's close that. That's the dock. So there, forest camera. There it is. And there we go. So just kind of doing a little zoom shot and then lifting up. I quite like this camera. It's actually my favorite of the two so far. Seems like kind of an intro to a scene or something. You know, showing off the next level you're about to play through or what. So it shows the camera just kind of lifting off and giving you sort of a cinematic running through the forest that transitions into sort of a bird's eye view. So that looks pretty cool. So yeah, we have a couple of camera animations and a very choppy but working particle system, and that's what this week's projects have been. So yeah, this is just a looping sequence, and I could export that as a video or whichever. But oh, one other thing actually, subtle little difference, but if you notice, I've animated the water a little bit, so it's actually kind of showing some wave action on the beach there. Essentially all I did was take the ginormously massive plane that is over the entire world and just add some animation so that it rises and falls ever so slightly. It's probably not the best way to do a wave, but I thought it was simple enough and it kind of works. I'm going to zoom back in. Zoom in! Oh, what am I grabbing here? Let's grab that's not the one I wanted, but okay. There we go. Grab some kind of actor that's on the beach to zoom back in. So there we go. That is my Unity project at current.